Most people never notice when they're giving their power away. It happens in small moments, reactions, explanations, emotional access. Have you ever noticed a strange thing happen when you finally start to improve your life? Maybe you decided to quit a bad habit. Maybe you started a new business, or you began to stand up for yourself at work. Perhaps you simply started to feel a little more confident, a little more at peace with who you are. You expected the people around you, your friends, your family, your co-workers, to be happy for you. You expected them to smile and say, "I am so glad you're doing well." But instead, you felt something else. You felt a coldness. You felt a tension in the room that wasn't there before. Suddenly people started making little jokes at your expense. They started bringing up your past mistakes, reminding you of the version of you that was broken or weak. When you talked about your new dreams, they didn't offer a hand to help you up. They offered 100 reasons why you would fail. It felt as though, by trying to fly, you had accidentally offended everyone who was still walking. It is a painful and confusing truth. Often, the people who claim to love you are the ones most disturbed by your growth. You go home and you sit in the quiet of your room and you feel a heavy weight on your chest. You think to yourself, "What did I do wrong? Am I being too much? Am I being arrogant? Should I go back to how I was just to make them comfortable again?" You feel a deep pressure to shrink, to become small again, so that the people around you don't have to feel the heat of your new light. Carl Jung, the great explorer of the human soul, understood this phenomenon better than almost anyone in history. He knew that when someone tries to destroy your progress, it is rarely because they actually hate you. It is because your progress acts as a giant shining mirror that shows them their own failure. They are not attacking you. They are attacking the reminder that you have become. Today we are going to look deeply into this mystery. We are going to explore why your excellence feels like a threat to those who are stagnant. We are going to look at the 3 psychological reasons why people try to sabotage what they cannot become. And most importantly, we are going to learn how to stand firmly in your power without feeling guilty for the darkness in others. Take a deep breath. Put away your phone. Let the world outside fade away. We are going to go into the basement of the human mind to find the truth. To understand why people try to destroy what they cannot become, we have to look at one of Carl Jung's most important ideas, the unlived life. Imagine that every human being is born with a map inside of them. This map shows all the things they could be. It shows their potential to be brave, to be creative, to be honest, and to be free. Jung believed that our main job in life is to follow that map, to become the full version of ourselves. He called this process individuation, but following the map is terrifying. It requires you to leave the safety of the crowd. It requires you to face the possibility of failing. It requires you to be lonely. Because it is so scary, most people stop following their map very early in life. They take the safe job they hate. They stay in relationships that don't nourish them. They keep their opinions to themselves because they want to be liked. They take all their dreams, all their fire, and all their unique weirdness, and they push it down into a dark basement in their mind. Jung called this basement the shadow. The shadow is full of all the parts of ourselves that we have rejected. For most people, their potential is sitting in that basement, covered in dust. They tell themselves they are fine. They tell themselves that this is just how life is. They settle for a small grey version of existence because it doesn't hurt as much as trying and failing. Then you walk into their life. You are the person who decided to go into your basement and bring the light back out. You are the person who is trying to live your unlived life. You are starting the business. You are getting fit. You are speaking your truth. When they look at you, they don't see you. They see the ghost of who they could have been. 1. The mirror of regret. The first reason people try to destroy you is that you have become a mirror of regret. Think about a person who wanted to be an artist, but was too afraid of being poor, so they took a boring office job for 30 years. They have spent those 30 years convincing themselves that art is for fools and being practical is what matters. They have built a whole identity out of being realistic. Then you come along and you start painting, or you start a creative project, and you are happy. Your happiness is a direct attack on the lie they have told themselves for 30 years. If you can be happy following your heart, then they could have been happy too. That thought is like a knife to the soul. It means they wasted their life. It means their safety was actually just cowardice. Most people cannot handle that much pain. Their mind has to protect them. So instead of admitting they were wrong, they decide that you must be wrong. They start to say, "Oh, you're doing that art thing. Good luck with that. You know, most people fail. You should really be more practical." They aren't trying to help you. They are trying to put out your light so that their own darkness doesn't look so dark anymore. If they can make you fail, it proves that they were right to never try. Your failure is their peace of mind. 2. The threat to the group contract. The second reason is what Jungians call the social shadow. Most groups, whether it's a family, a group of friends, or a workplace, have an unwritten contract. The contract usually says, we all agree to stay at this level. We all agree to complain about the government, to gossip about our neighbors, and to stay in our boxes. As long as we all stay in our boxes, we are all friends. When you decide to leave your box, you are breaking the contract. By becoming more, you are forcing everyone else in the group to look at their own smallness. If you get healthy, the people who are unhealthy feel judged by your mere existence. If you become wealthy, the people who are struggling feel their struggle more intensely. They try to destroy your progress to bring you back to the group level. They want the old you back. They will say things like, "You've changed," or "You're not fun anymore," or "Don't forget where you came from." What they really mean is, "Please come back down here into the mud with us. Your growth is making us feel left behind, and we don't want to do the work to catch up." 3. The envy of vitality. The third reason is the most basic. They envy your vitality. Jung noticed that some people are psychologically dead. They have no spark. They have no passion. They move through life like machines. When they see someone who is alive, someone who has energy, who has a mission, who has a spark in their eye, it irritates them. It's like a person who has lived in a dark cave for 20 years. When you bring a flashlight into the cave, they don't say, "Thank you for the light." They scream and cover their eyes because the light hurts. Your life force hurts the people who have given up on life. They try to destroy your enthusiasm, your joy, and your drive because it disturbs their quiet sleep. They want the world to be grey and silent, just like they are. Jung said, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases." But people who are unhappy want everyone to wear the same pinching shoe. They try to destroy your life because your life is a noisy reminder of their death. Now, we must change how you look at this. Up until now, you have probably felt like a victim of this sabotage. When people criticize you or try to pull you down, you feel like you are being punished. You feel like you have a problem. I want you to stop and look at this through the eyes of Carl Jung. I want you to see the hidden power in being targeted. First, realize that nobody tries to destroy a ruin. People do not go to a junkyard to smash old broken cars. They do not throw rocks at a tree that has no fruit. They do not try to put out a fire that is already just cold ash. If people are trying to destroy what you are becoming, it is the ultimate proof that you are becoming something magnificent. The saboteurs in your life are like a GPS system. Their hate and their resistance are telling you exactly where the gold is. If they are attacking your new business, it's because they can see it's going to work. If they are attacking your new confidence, it's because they can feel it's real. In a very strange way, your enemies are more honest about your potential than your nice friends are. Your enemies can feel your power before you can. They are reacting to the size of your soul. Second, see the sabotage as a test of your wholeness. Jung believed that we cannot become whole if we are always seeking the approval of the crowd. As long as you need everyone to like you, you are a slave to their shadow. When people try to pull you down, life is asking you a question. Do you want to be liked by people who have given up, or do you want to be whole? Is your light strong enough to shine even when others try to blow it out? This resistance is actually a gift. It is the weight you need to lift to build the muscles of the soul. Without this resistance, your character would stay soft. You would be a fair-weather person. By standing your ground while people try to destroy you, you are moving from being a child who needs permission to an individual who has their own center of gravity. Third, understand the physics of the soul. Every action has a reaction. When you move up, you create a vacuum below you. The people who are not moving will feel a pull to either come with you or pull you back. It is a law of nature. Stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "This is the natural result of my growth. I am moving, therefore there is friction." If there was no friction, it would mean I was standing still. Being hated for your growth is not a tragedy. It is a ceremony. It is the ceremony of you leaving the group shadow and becoming a real human being. You are not a victim of their jealousy. You are the active ingredient in the room. You are the one who is making things happen. They are just the reaction. When you realize this, the sting goes away. You stop being hurt by their comments, and you start being amused by them. You realize that their attack is actually a white flag of surrender. They are admitting that they cannot compete with who you are becoming, so they have to try to stop you from becoming it. Do not be offended by their weakness. Be encouraged by your strength. How do we actually live this way? How do we go to work tomorrow, or go to the family dinner, or talk to the jealous friend without getting hurt? We need to practice Jungian detachment. We need to shift our mental position so that their arrows don't reach us. Here are 4 practical mental shifts you can start today. 1. The ghost observation. When someone tries to discourage you, when they say, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" or "You're getting a bit ahead of yourself, aren't you?" I want you to stop. Do not react. Do not explain yourself. Look at them and realize, I am not talking to this person. I am talking to their shadow. In your mind, see them as a haunted house. The words they are saying are just the ghosts of their own failures rattling the windows. When you see it this way, you don't get angry. You don't feel the need to argue. You wouldn't argue with a ghost, would you? You would just walk out of the house. Practice saying this internally. I hear your fear, but I do not accept it as my truth. Then simply change the subject. Talk about the weather. Talk about the food. Keep the conversation on the surface while your inner self stays deep and safe. 2. The power of selective secrecy. Jung was a big believer in the power of secrecy. He knew that a new idea or a new version of yourself is like a tiny, fragile plant. If you show it to everyone, someone will eventually step on it, either on purpose or by accident. One of the most practical things you can do is to stop telling people your big plans. If you know someone is a saboteur, why are you giving them your gold? Why are you showing them your map? Keep your growth a secret for as long as possible. Build your business in the dark. Get healthy in the dark. Find your peace in the dark. Wait until your growth is so big and so solid that nobody can knock it over. When you are a giant oak tree, it doesn't matter if someone tries to kick you. But when you are a sprout, a single kick can kill you. Protect your becoming. You do not owe anyone an explanation of your journey. 3. The compassion from a distance. It is easy to become bitter when people try to destroy you, but bitterness is just another way of being tied to them. If you hate them back, they have won. They have pulled you into their basement. The Jungian way is to feel compassion from a distance. Look at the person who is trying to sabotage you. Think about how much it must hurt to be them. Think about how miserable it must feel to wake up every day and feel smaller because someone else is doing well. Think about the dreams they killed. When you see their smallness, your anger turns into a quiet pity. You realize they are psychological invalids. You can wish them well. You can hope they find their own path. But, and this is important, you do not have to let them touch your life. You can love a tiger, but you don't put your head in its mouth. You can have compassion for a saboteur, but you don't give them a seat at your inner table. 4. Become untriggerable. Why do their comments hurt? They hurt because there is a part of you that still believes them. If someone calls you arrogant and it hurts, it's because you are afraid that you are arrogant. If they say you will fail and it hurts, it's because you are afraid you will fail. Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." Use their attacks as a flashlight. When they hit a sore spot, don't look at them. Look at the spot. Ask yourself, why does this hurt? What part of me still needs their approval? The more you know yourself, the more you have looked at your own shadow, the less power they have. When you know exactly who you are, no one can tell you who you aren't. Practical exercise. Every time someone tries to pull you down, say to yourself, "Thank you for showing me where I am still weak. I will work on that part of myself so that next time your words will have no place to land." This is how you become a solid object. You become a person that the wind of other people's opinions simply blows around without moving you an inch. The world is a very noisy place. Most people are shouting because they are afraid of the silence. They are afraid of what they might hear in the quiet. They might hear the voice of the life they didn't live. When you start to live that life, when you start to become whole, the world will try to pull you back. It isn't personal. It's just how the dark reacts to the light. You do not have to fight them. You do not have to prove them wrong. You only have to keep becoming. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Choose to become the full version of yourself, even if it makes others uncomfortable, even if it means you have to walk alone for a while. The people who are meant to be in your life will see your light, and they will be inspired to find their own. The others, let them stay in their basement. You have a mountain to climb. Do not look back. The air is clearer up there. Be still, be strong. And remember, they are not trying to destroy you. They are trying to destroy the mirror. But you are more than a mirror. You are the light itself. Be at peace.